Beautiful sunset in central Nevada. We're heading north into the great Nevada outback. Glad you could join us, everybody. Here we have a historical marker off US Highway 50 called New Pass Station. In 1861, the rocks composing the walls of this stage station and freighter stop were in neat rows and roofed with bundles of willow. It was one part of Stagecoach King John Butterfield's Overland Mail and Stage Company road systems, which at the time began traversing the central route between Salt Lake City, Utah, and Genoa, Nevada. Completion of the first transcontinental railroad meant the eventual demise of the overland stage line. In 1866, Butterfield sold out to Wells Fargo and Company. By February 1869, Wells Fargo suspended all operations on the central route, and the New Pass Station faded into history. Let's take a look and see what's left of it. It's all fenced off. What do you see, Kelly?
A lot of rocks that are not even, I mean, they're stacked together, but they were never like cemented in of any
Not
way.
really a whole lot to see with it.
Not left.
You know,
Looked like a big building at one time.
Yeah, I actually think the canyon behind it is more interesting. Let's take a look. Up in there. It had some water in here enough to water the teams. I think the sign says, "I see your soul." I see your soul. Really unusual vehicles approaching. So traversing east and west across the US Highway 50, you're going across all the different mountain ranges, and the mountain ranges in Nevada run north and south, just one after another. So you're traversing all these different mountain ranges. So basically, your trip on Highway 50 is going to be up the mountain, down the mountain range, across the valley, up the mountain, down the mountain range, across the valley, and there's several of those all across the state. And that's how it is all the way till you get to Utah. We're pulling off to Hickson Petroglyphs. That's where we're going to be camping out. I've got some trees and a big hill to keep the wind down if we get a storm. Lots of open spots. Seems to be fairly popular. Well, this spot right here is fairly nice, Kelly. It's got a lot of trees around it, and the wind's coming out of the west, so we want to make sure that we set our tent up so that the smoke's going that direction. We don't want any ambers hitting the tent. So you don't think it's too much of a slope, do you?
No, I think we'll be okay.
Okay, let's do it here. Okay, and then just put this up like that. Like that. And here's our spot. Look at these, Kelly. It's the desert mallow, and they're still blooming, all protected. And it is almost winter time. It's fall right now.
Amazing, they're still blooming.
Yes. We're going to walk up to the Hickson Petroglyphs recreation area. Total trail length is almost half a mile, a little over half a mile. We're going to start from here, the parking area. We're camped over down here. Here are some of the better petroglyphs I've been able to find. If you look real close, there is some graffiti, but there are some petroglyphs on the bottom part of that. Let's keep looking, see if we can find some more. Now, some of this is graffiti, modern graffiti. I'm gonna film the whole section for everybody so you can take a look for yourself and see if you can see any. But they've definitely been eroded from the weather, the snow, the ice, the rain. Here they are. I think these are some right there. Those look like they're old. Right there with the horns on it. There they are. There's some. Petroglyphs. Kind of reminds me of something you'd see in Utah. And I've noticed, I'll bet you this isn't a trail camera they've got on here. I bet you this is some kind of a camera to keep people from vandalizing it, is my guess. But maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see why you'd have a trail camera looking at this like that, because I know some people would just love to spray paint this and wreck it and carve their initials on there.
We'll climb on it.
Yeah, so they probably have to safeguard it.
See,
I saw a place where was it, like Kentucky or some place that was a historical place. They came in there, just trashed it, you know.
Really?
Yeah, sad. This sign confirms my suspicions. It's got 24-hour video surveillance. to make sure nobody mars this up. And I think actually these marks right here to me look like they might be of a petroglyph nature right there. Thinking about it too, Kelly, is that we're going up to see these petroglyphs, and the petroglyphs are basically what the natives did as far as, you know, graffiti of yesteryear.
Yeah,
so it's kind of
all it
interesting.
was.
So it's just human nature doing that, you know.
I guess so.
But I think I'd rather see the natives renditions of the bighorn sheep and different things than just mindless graffiti, you know, to make it ugly. So
yeah.
Just left the campground area, and it already has that feel of being somewhere way out in the wilderness. It really does. Look at that valley. It's a really nice view, isn't it?
Beautiful.
Look how far you can see. I see some water down there.
That's why I was wondering if it was water or snow.
No,
it's reflective.
yeah, it's water. There's some snow on some of the peaks in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Just a light dusting, the first snow of the season. So that must be the valley over there by Carver's on the other side of Reese Valley. And I think Austin, Nevada is on the other side of those mountains over there.
Yep.
Our campsite is just on the other side of that large rock. Looks like there's some water down in that canyon. Maybe we could walk down there sometime, go for a little hike. We really like this trail and this campground, and it's so close to the highway, and the trail is accessible for everybody. We've seen several families with very young children, and I think just about anyone could get on this trail up here and enjoy it. So it's very accessible and it's free. Seen a lot of markings on this rock and different formations from the water, the erosion from the water and so forth, just from over the years, but we haven't seen anything that we could say positively, at least on this wall, positively that this is a petroglyph. Look at this little spot by the trail. It looks like a badger or something could fit in there. Hopefully there's nothing in it. No, it's the perfect size for a little animal to go through the night. Yeah, look, even under there's a little hiding spot.
Yeah, a little small animal could get under there to get out of the storm or something.
Yeah, there's all kinds of little hiding spots in here. I'm not a trained eye when it comes to petroglyphs, so that looks like something that's old that was scribbled on there and weathered. That might be a petroglyph. I could be wrong. Maybe one of our viewers could set me straight on that. Kelly noticed that hole in the rock there.
Look at this moss right here. You don't see too much of it in Nevada. It's hard, but it's all over this rock.
Kind of feels soft to the touch too, but it's hard.
A little bit,
yeah.
but you know, it's not squishy like you think it will be.
I think the water collects in those.
That's probably what caused it.
Really like the landscape out here with all the Pinion Pines. It's very pleasant. We're only a few hundred yards away from our campsite. Once you leave the campsite, it's wide open country. Very nice. The views really open up. You can see for miles and miles. There's Highway US 50. You can see how it makes a turn to the right. It's just basically a straight shot into the next mountain range. That's how it is out here, one mountain range after another. But it's very pleasant, it's not difficult. But in general, I wouldn't recommend US 50 in the wintertime because you've got some pretty big passes with snow and ice, and it could be difficult. But most of the year it's a very nice route. It's really sandy in this one spot, and the sun came out. It feels really nice. It's not hot. It's welcomed. Kelly, what were you saying about the Pinion Pines?
There's none out here this year, so that tells me there's no.
You mean the pine cones themselves?
Right, there's
for the pine seed.
Yeah, there's no cones on the trees, so there's no pine nuts.
Maybe they didn't set a crop this year.
They didn't out here.
So we see 2 little stray pine cones, but that's it. Normally there's a lot more, aren't there?
Yeah, that's what the Indians used to eat.
There's no bugs out. It is so pleasant. So our campsite is just off the trail. Not very far at all, short walk. And you can see our tent. Look at how thick and big these cookies are, everybody. I'm not trying to tease everybody. They're just really good. They are good. So these are the ones with the Reese's Pieces in there. Lots of chocolate, but we need that energy to go for a good walk. So there you go. What's that, Kat? It looks like there's like a hole in like a window that goes all the way through. Do you see it?
Yeah, I do see it.
Let's go check it out.
Okay.
Kelly and I noticed something very unusual. We thought it was a cave at first. I'm really not certain what we found, but it looks like some kind of a little grotto almost. Here it is. Let's go walk up into it. I thought maybe it might go all the way through the side of the hill because I thought I saw some light through it, but what it was the sun was hitting the back of it right here. That's what I was seeing, and it was an illusion. I thought that went all the way through, and it's about 20 feet up, and then you can see where the water comes down, and the side of it, it looks almost like shells or rock or maybe even concrete mixed in. It's like rock and silt mixed in, and it's just covered with nests of these big pack rats. There was a nest here. Might even see one scurry off. There's a nest here. See the nest? And then part of it washed off, probably when the water came rushing. This one washed off here. Here's another one. Pack rats. Those are those rats, if you're camping, they'll steal all the shiny objects and they bring them back to their nests. Like your car keys and the bottle tops and coins, things like that. This is really interesting.
Yes, it is.
Here's the front where we came in. Yeah, it's real delicate. I don't want to touch it too much. Wow. A lot of erosion. You can see how big it is by me standing in here. Huh. It's not the kind of place I want to spend too much time in because it looks like it could fall apart at any minute. So The water comes roaring right down through here, probably like a waterfall effect, and it comes right down through where I'm walking right now. Interesting. Water must come roaring through here and right down this little gully, right down into the valley, into that creek. Look at those boulders. There's 3 boulders there. One towards the center that looks like it could roll off of that shelf that's kind of a light gray color. And then if you go down there to the right, just a little bit lower, there's 2 that have, they're sitting on top of 2 formations, like silt formations, clay. Now there's a spring a little farther up here. And here's another big cliff. That's the power of erosion. See where it came down through the silt? Right down into the valley. We can really start to see those cliffs now. Wow, that one straight ahead is about as big as a garage or a small house. It's very large. I think I might go up to it and take a look. It's like the perfect size for our cougar. Get out of the shade, I think. Nice quiet spot. These cactus aren't blooming at the moment, but they sure have plenty of thorns waiting for you. This area is very quiet. It reminds me of some kind of a secluded canyon lands. You would never know this is back just about a mile or so, maybe a little farther off of US 50. Maybe 2 miles, I'm not sure.
Looks like there could be a mountain lion up there watching us.
I'm actually scanning the side to see if I see one, you know, like a big paw hanging over one side and the tail hanging over the other, you know.
Huh.
Lots of places for them to hide in here. Look at this massive boulder in front of us. We notice how there's a cleft in that formation. It's interesting. Right there. I'll bet during some thunder showers the water actually does pour off that. That's how it's probably become eroded. Of course, I don't get too much water here, but When they do, I'm sure it comes through here fast. So you can see all this erosion. Love all the colors. Colors and textures. Out here at night, the stars are amazing. Bright and clear. You can see everything. Because there's no lighting at night from the cities. It's very remote. So quiet. I love the texture, the colors, the light gray and the greens of the Pinion Pines and the red hues, and all these rocks with these fascinating holes like Swiss cheese. There's still quite a few things blooming, and you can hear the crickets and cicadas chirping. Of course, they just stopped as I walked by. As spectacular as this view is, Kellie was saying that this little valley in here with the Pinion Pines and the sagebrush, she says that really reminds her of Nevada all around. Is this kind of a view? Sagebrush and Pinion Pines, colorful cliffs. Has its own unique special beauty. Just on the other side of that small mountain is US 50. Not very far, about a mile away on the other side of that. Some impressive large rock cliffs.